Cheers, everybody. We're back again for another One Piece video. Oh my god, man. This chapter was so good. So good. It was like incredible. It blew my mind, man. It was insane, okay? Like, I have no way to describe it. It was so good, man. I swear to God, this is the best Oda has been for a stretch of time in years, man. From Egghead to right now, I swear there hasn't been a bad chapter. I swear there hasn't been a bad chapter since the Law and Kid Awakening chapter, man, when Kinemon had his little bum in the air. Oh my god, he's on such a run, man. Oh, and the dragon. Oh, the dragon looks so cool. Sorry, the Nidhogg. Oh my god, man. It just looks so cool. Like, genuinely, it's incredible, man. The art is so good. And the character work. Summers is the funniest character we've had in years. He is such a great villain. His faces are incredible, man. He's like, no, you're gonna ruin my moment, man. No. Oh, it's so funny. And then he's like, yes, I'm gonna get them now. And he just has this big grin on his face. Oh, he's just so funny, man. I can tell Oda's just having the time of his life writing Summers. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm loving it so much. And also, we get a really cool new move by Luffy, man. It's the Thor, what's it? Dawn Thor hammer or something like that. So we're getting that Thor hammer back. It was his fist this time instead of his foot when he used to go boom, right? So it's interesting. We're getting new Dawn spins on Luffy's moves. We're kind of going through all of them now. So I'm very excited to see this. I think it's going to be the first fully developed Gear 5 fight where Luffy's starting to get the hang of it. Like, I feel like both in Egghead and in Wano, Luffy was still trying to get the hang of it. We saw that. I think this is going to be the first fight where the fight finishes before he doesn't run out of gas. Before he runs out of gas. I'm starting to feel like it's actually on the wind down. I was thinking for ages Elbap's going to last a long time, but I'm starting to think now we're actually on the wind down. I can kind of feel it. You know, all the Straw Hats are coming together now. It's getting to the stage where I think the main fights are going to come in and we're going to get the main character moments. I think the Brook flashback is going to be quite short. It might even, we got an announcement that Brook is going to be in season 2 because of the Laboon flashback. So I could actually see them planning it in a way where this Brook flashback comes out when the live action comes out or a couple of weeks after. Because I don't know how they're releasing the live action. I'm assuming it's all in one go because that's Netflix's main model. But I'm actually really excited to see how that looks in the long term and what they're going to do with it. I do hope they get, because the actor they showed doesn't have the afro. I hope they give him the afro, man. The Brook afro needs to be in the show. Do you know what I mean? We need to get that in the show no matter what. That's like iconic for Brook. The actor looks really cool though, I won't lie. I haven't heard of him before. I literally only saw an image. I don't even know his name. But I think he looks really cool. He's going to be a great member to the cast, and it's going to be a great shock to people who weren't expecting it because now we have him in a Laboon flashback. And then he's going to show up seasons later to join the crew, which I think is going to be great. But I wonder how they're going to do the CGI skeleton stuff, though. That's the really interesting stuff, you know? But then, obviously, I think around this time, they're going to bring in the flashback for Brook. And then we're going to have, like, a whole... Maybe, I think it's going to be a lot shorter than I was originally thinking, because it just feels like this chapter was starting the setup for the final fight. So I actually think Elbas might end up ending this year if he doesn't take another break, because he doesn't seem to be taking that many breaks ever since he came back. It's been kind of chapter after chapter, so I'm feeling like he's going to keep going. I don't know. I'm very, very happy with this chapter overall. Obviously, we got more lore on the Sun God and the Nidhogg Warrior and the Squirrel God, the Squirrel God, the War God and the Squirrel God. You know, they were just goats. They were like the God of War, man. The squirrel was his little Atreus, you know? But I'm really excited about it, you know? It's really cool to get more lore about the gods and how that works into the Devil Fruit lore that we got in the previous arc. You know, it's really cool how imaginations form the ability, right? But in a not, like, so cringy way. Like, I find with One Piece, it's always done really well. Like, I'm watching a lot of Fire Force lately, and the imagination power still exists. We have that with Arthur, the, like, deuteragonist in the show. And he's all about, like, imagining himself as King Arthur and all this. I do find it a bit cringy. Now, saying that, it's a bit funnier in the later seasons. It's been getting me a bit of a chuckle every now and then. But I find with One Piece, they're bringing the imagination element into it, and I'm actually enjoying how they're going about it. You know, it feels very mystical, but also not annoying. It feels reasonable for the world that we're living in. I feel Oda has spent so much time building it up in a way that makes sense that it's just perfect. He's really paying everything off perfectly. And then obviously Loki's just so cool, man. Every panel in this chapter with Loki was incredible. Not as incredible as the faces Summers was making now. That was just incredible stuff, like actually generational stuff. But it is interesting that Emu didn't know that the fruit was there, which fascinates me even more, because surely you would have seen Harold's memories. But I wonder what fruit he thought that was. Maybe he thought it was the Nika fruit. I have no idea, you know? Actually, that might even be Shanks' lie. Imagine Shanks got the fruit for Emu somehow, like to basically talk about running away or something, and then he pretended it was the fruit from Elbath to kind of throw Emu off the scent. What if this is what's going on, you know? It's an interesting idea. It doesn't line up with the timelines, but it's still an interesting idea. But I will say, though, that moment with the kids of Elbath protecting their parents and the way they were doing it, Oda has done such a good job with the little screen time he's given these kids to make them so likable, and you care so much about them because they're so sweet, man. And the love the parents have shown for them and the way they've been doing that, especially with Ripley and all this, and even obviously Road and with his brother and stuff, they've made it into such a way where it's just so heartwarming, man. And to see the kids trying to protect their parents, oh, it had me in bits, man. These emotional scenes are really hitting me lately. I don't know why, but they're just so good. Oda's been really good with this. And honestly, I think Colin is just all around one of my favourite characters in terms of Elbath, man. Because obviously, you know, with Momo it took ages to like him, but Colin has just been, he's just been good moment after good moment after good moment with him, you know what I mean? It's some of Oda's best writing when it comes to younger characters, I think. It's been really good. And then obviously it's helped with Ripley, showing Ripley's strengths and kind of taking her away and making her a character separate from Gabon in a very interesting way. Like, everything doesn't revolve around Gabon. They're partners, they have their own strengths, and it's been beautiful. It's been a beautiful story. One of Oda's best, I think. Because I feel like Toki wasn't that good in that way. Toki was very reliant on Odin for her character, despite the lore that she provided, right? Compared to, like, Ripley has her own little arc going, and I know Toki did, but still, Odin was so important to every character in Wano that no one's motivations were separate from Odin, whereas this feels kind of separate and more, you know, more focused on the kid that they've raised together, or more focused on the lore of her home country. It's incredibly interesting, personally, to me. I love this new take, and I know he's just going to change up his style for this a lot, and I've often said the mothers he's written in this arc have been incredible. You know, Ida was just next level, and I'll talk about that nearly every chapter because I love that writing for this Loki flashback, and the payoff for Loki right now is incredible. We also got a cool Sanji panel, which I'm never going to complain about. Cool Sanji and Robin panel, getting the Straw Hats free. And Luffy mentions when Zoro protects the kids, he's like, he's a member of my crew and don't forget it. So I think they're going to all get like major big power up fights this arc, and it's going to be really cool. They're all going to get like big major scenes to some way. I don't know who they're going to fight though. Like, there's 9 of them now. I don't think there's 9 enemies on this island. So I think it might just end up being a big fight against Emu and the remaining Holy Knights, with a few people off to the side. Like, I think Zoro might have his own fight. Sanji might have his own fight, and then the rest of them are just with Luffy trying to take down Emu. I think that might be the angle to go. I can't really see any other angles, to be honest. Like, I could see, like, obviously Usopp fighting Dory and Broggy, but you can also see Hyrodin and Loki fighting Dory and Broggy. But I think Loki has to be involved in the Emu fight, especially if Emu has taken interest in Nidhogg, you know? So there's a lot to go over in terms of the matchups, because I've been talking a lot about the matchups the last few weeks, because they are exciting, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like we're getting to that stage now. I thought Elbath was going to be another, like, year or two, but I'm starting to think he might wrap it up this year, especially with this pace. It feels like we're going quick, and I feel like he's going to have more to it. But the last thing I want to say about this chapter that I thought was very interesting was doesn't seem to be anything going on in the Flower Room. I thought Emu was going to be under some pressure. It doesn't look like he's under pressure. So this is more interesting. I don't think there's going to be a way to get Emu separated from Gunko if he's not under pressure in his host body. So I'm very interested to see where Oda goes with that. If we'll eventually see an attack that happens during this, so the attack happens during the fight. So it's not happening right now, but it will happen later. But I always thought we zoom back to Emu, we were going to see him under pressure or sweating somewhat. But we don't see that in this chapter. He still seems quite chill. Now, maybe I'll have it so it's separate, like everyone except for Emu leaves, and then they're able to push Emu back using Brook's soul powers or something like that. I really don't know. But either way, I am so excited. Like, genuinely. And I don't think there's a break. Is there a break next week? Let me check before we... no, all it says is color spread next week for next chapter. So either there's a break and there's a color spread, or there's no break, which I think is great. I wonder what the color spread is going to be. I hope it's a Loki color spread. I really want to see a Loki color spread. I think that'd be sick. But with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about this chapter down below. And cheers, everybody. Have a fantastic day.